Ross Atkins held a presser yesterday, and he spoke out about the idea of Shohei Ohtani becoming a Toronto Blue Jay. Well, okay, he didn't exactly do that, but he hinted that the Blue Jays are going to be in the market to make something happen on that front. So we'll break that down on this episode of Jays Digest, as well as Alek Manoah. The rumors are starting to get dispelled a little bit. So if you want to trade for him, you're trading for a former Cy Young finalist and not a guy who had a near 6 ERA last season. So we'll have that and much more coming up next. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse. Now, the Shohei Ohtani news just keeps on rolling in. The Blue Jays a couple of weeks ago were long shots to get the Japanese superstar. Now there's a legit possibility, and they're one of the favorites to land him. Whether it happens or not, I'm still skeptical. I'm not holding my breath for Shohei Ohtani lining up in the Toronto Blue Jays starting lineup next year. However, it's something that could happen, and we know that the Blue Jays have the money to make it work. We know that they've been willing to spend over the course of the past few off seasons here. So why not? Why not the Blue Jays? Why do we have to feel like we're inferior to other teams when it comes to the off-season market? So I think there's a legit chance that this happens, Nick, and it's just super exciting. Until it actually gets announced, I'm not holding my breath, but still, it's real.
Yeah, and at the very least, I'm happy that we're even involved in these rumors to this extent. But before we get into that, I'm going to harp on this a little bit longer than usual. We're under 100 subscribers away from 10,000. Our goal is to hit it by the end of November. We're very, very close, but 70% of you guys aren't subscribed. So scroll down. If you're not subscribed, hit the button. 10,000 is super close, and we appreciate all your support. But go ahead and do that, and tell everyone you know to hit the subscribe button if we're close to 10,000. All right, let's get right into the first topic. Peter, you mentioned it. Atkins kind of came out of nowhere yesterday and decided to just hold a random kind of press conference. Atkins, and he spoke out on the Ohtani to Toronto rumors without actually fully speaking out because he's not allowed to, obviously, because the stuff is still going down. But he actually had a lot of interesting things to say yesterday. And people on Twitter were actually happy for once with the comments that Ross Atkins made because he kind of, avoided a bit of the corporate normal nonsense that he pulls off, and he gave a little bit of insight, and we'll cover in tomorrow's video some more of the stuff because there's too much to break down here. But here is essentially what he said. When asked about Shohei Ohtani today, he kept his answers general without dispelling the notion that the Jays could be real players. He said, quote, "We have an incredible opportunity here. The city, the country, the support of ownership, the winning environment, the renovations." He keeps mentioning the renovations, which is something that's very, very interesting as well. And he said, speaking broadly, Atkins says the Jays can spend on the right players, or one of the few markets that has the ability to be nimble. And then Ben Nicholson-Smith also says that some of the industry see him as a team to watch. Some see them as dark horses. Regardless, Peter, this is a bit encouraging. He actually gave a little bit of insight that it seems like, reading between the lines here, they're definitely making a strong push for him. They can't guarantee he's going to come to Toronto. None of us can, but I mean, it's very true. One of very few teams, maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4, that have a real shot at landing the two-way star.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, of course they're going to be making a push here. And if you remember well, Ohtani, he said that he's going to hold it against teams if they like let people know that they had a visit with him or that they had a sit down meeting with him. So the Blue Jays being tight-lipped here and not necessarily saying that they're going to go after him full on here. I mean, that's encouraging to me because it shows that they don't want to reveal too much. They want to keep things under wraps, and they want to maintain that relationship, if there is one, with Shohei Ohtani in order to maybe get a deal done down the line. So look, I think I'm encouraged by what I'm hearing here. The press conference, there was no real reason to have a press conference yesterday unless I'm missing something, unless something happened that we're unaware of, Nick. But for Ross Atkins to go out of his way and hold that presser and then answer these questions and not really dance around them with his answers, then that's good. That's good. That's not something that we usually see out of him. So we'll take them. We'll take the positive news as it comes here. But the Blue Jays are definitely going to be in on Ohtani, whether they get him or not. Still, that remains to be seen. However, them being in on him as opposed to just saying they were in on him and not really making the right steps to go ahead and get it done, it's encouraging.
Yeah, and obviously no moves have really been made for the Blue Jays yet this offseason. But the thing you mentioned there is the biggest point. He did not dance around the topics, any of the questions that he was asked, and we'll cover it again in tomorrow's video. But when asked about trades and asked about all this, he is making it very, very clear that the Jays are going to most likely make a big move. And I don't think he does that unless he has very high levels of confidence that the Jays or something's going to be shaken up. They know they need to make a move. Reports have come out about Ohtani. Reports keep flowing. And again, incredible opportunity. He just kept on not dancing around. And that's what everyone hated on him for, and usually doesn't like with Ross Atkins' press conferences, that he'll just say, we're going to do the best with our control and all this stuff that he usually says. But yesterday was actually insightful. He felt like an actual human being rather than a robot answering the questions, and it's the first time in a long time that I saw the Jays community, even the writers and reporters of the team, be impressed with what Ross Atkins had to say instead of coming at his throat for the comments. So that's very, very encouraging. Any final thoughts on this before we move on to another topic in which something he spoke out on Manoah?
Yeah, it's definitely encouraging. I'm more optimistic now. I'm getting more and more optimistic day by day with the Toronto Blue Jays possibility of acquiring Shohei Ohtani. Now, yet again, I mean, none of us know anything. We're not on the front lines. We're not insiders with the team, but we can speculate here. And it seems as though the Blue Jays are definitely trying to make a push because they need to. They need to. If they don't add a serious piece like Ohtani or Bellinger or someone on the trade market like Juan Soto, then we're just going to be talking about the same kind of disappointment come next offseason. We're going to be talking about what this team needs to do in free agency, in the trade market to get over the hump. Because as this group is currently constructed right now, they won't do much damage in the playoffs. But if you add that missing piece, and Ohtani is probably the biggest missing piece that you can add, then you vault yourself into that contention window, and you vault yourself amongst the upper echelon teams of Major League Baseball. And that's what I'm really looking out for. Not necessarily Ohtani, but a big time move.
Yeah, I was going to say, literally about to say that. Even if it's not Ohtani, this is encouraging nonetheless. Even if you think that Ohtani's out of the realm of possibility, it might very well be, but there's still some other guys here. And all of these nuggets of information keep coming out, and the Jays might have to offer, like he says, Blue Jays hot stuff here, they might have to offer the most money or more money than other teams, and I think Rogers in a position to do that. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on that. As the truth is revealed a little bit here now as well, which is another topic behind the Manoah trade, with the potential trade, all the rumors that are going down. And there's two tidbits of information, some that just dropped, and then some about Ross Atkins' comments. So, according to sources from Ben Nicholson Smith, Alek Manoah is throwing again and feeling strong and excited for 24. And sources said the Jays have indeed had some talks involving Manoah this month, which is a little bit scary, Peter, but it sounds like the Jays are more inclined to keep Manoah and to work towards a bounce back 2024. And this was followed up by Shohei Ohtani dropping an article today. You can feel free to pause this and read this, the summary notes, the cliff notes of it. The Jays are treating him as a 2022 Cy Young winner when it comes to trade value. So if teams are looking to buy low, it is not going to happen for Alek Manoah. So that's a bit interesting. Honestly, this is a bit of a surprising report that it is true. According to Ben Nicholson Smith, it is confirmed the Jays have shot Manoah this month, but now it seems like they're going to hold on to the former Cy Young candidate, or if they do trade him, according to Shohei Ohtani, while they're still kind of shopping him, it will be a hefty package.
Well, Nick, I mean, we've been clamoring for this the entire time. Why would you trade him after such a terrible season, after having two incredible seasons the years prior? It doesn't make sense. Now, if someone wants to give a package that it would have taken to get Manoah out of Toronto a year ago, then yeah, sure, I'd pick up the phone. You never know what you could get for him. But just his contract and his years of control alone make him a valuable asset, make him very valuable on the trade market. Put the performance aside, him making under $1 million and him having, what, 4 more years left of control, or 5, whatever it is, him having that much control and making that little money, it vaults him into like top prospect type of hype here. So I mean, the Jays would need a massive package to even consider getting him back. And look, if he doesn't perform, if he could never get back to what he used to be, then maybe the Jays are going to have to wear that on the chin. But it is what it is. You got to give the guy a chance to bounce back here. And he's only 25 years old. He could only get better from last season. I mean, I don't think he's going to have another year like that. He seems to be back in shape again. He seems to be working really hard thus far, and he's ready to go. So give him a chance. Let him prove himself. And if he's not the guy that you thought he was, then maybe you could cut ties. Then maybe you could sell for pennies on the dollar. But it's not the time to do it right now if you're the Blue Jays, and it just wouldn't make sense. There's no fifth starter that would be as valuable as Alek Manoah, probably around Major League Baseball, so hold on to him.
Yeah, especially, and other teams may not value him as valuable as we obviously seen him from the 2022 Cy Young season, but the Jays don't really have a choice. They're not going to force him out of Toronto. I like to think that they're not going to trade him for pennies on the dollar, and obviously the fifth starter spot rotation's looking okay right now. So that'll wrap up the video. Let us know in the comment section what your thoughts are and all that, and if you're believing in the Shohei hype. I think regardless of whether you believe in the Shohei hype or not, these are encouraging comments. It seems like the Jays are going to make a move, whether that's in the trade market for someone like Juan Soto or whether that's Cody Bellinger is yet to be seen. But we'll keep you updated. I suspect moves will happen now over the next week or two as the winter meetings get undergo. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.